Hello, beautiful people. Today we are going to Badagry. We had to take a bus to Mile 2 station. This is where you will find buses packed, loading, going to Badagry. So we got into one of those buses that were loading to Badagry. And then this woman came by the window and she was selling gala. I saw gala chin chin. I was like, wait, gala is not sausage rolls. I've always known that gala is sausage rolls. I just got to realize on this day that gala is the brand and sausage rolls is one of the things that the brand makes. The brand also makes chin chin, and I definitely had to taste their chin chin because I had tasted the famous Niger gala. So we got into the bus and we arrived at Badagry. Once you get to Badagry roundabout, you see this statue. So once you see this statue, you know you have arrived at the right place. So this tells a story. The entire Badagry area tells one story or another. So anything you see there, just keep in mind you ask your tour guide to explain it to you. From the statue to the walls, the paintings on the walls, you can see sorrowful tears of a slave in the barracoon. They just tell one story or another. So our first stop was at the Seriki Abbas barracoon, which is called the Brazilian barracoon. You're going to hear in a moment why it is called the Brazilian barracoon and the history of this place and all of that. This place, after hearing all the history, it was such a sorrowful time had here. You could legit feel the pains our forefathers had to go through. Let me end here for now and let's ride together.
Once again, my name is Colin Stone, so I'll be your tour guide to take you around the museum. In the olden days, there's a compound where the slaves were being kept. This is the cenotaph of the man that owns the compound. If you get right to runabout, you see his statue standing at the runabout. When he was at the age of 6, he was captured as a slave boy. And that time or era, we have two categories of slaves: a domestic slave that work in their masters, and while the field work on the farm or on the plantation. Now, the reason why they call it not Brazilian barracoon, all slaves taken from Africa so were taken to different parts of the world. But the slaves taken from this company were taken to Brazil, and they were Yoruba origin. That's why today in Brazil, you see the culture and tradition of the Yorubas in Brazil. Now, barracoon means cell, dungeon, where the slaves were being kept. Now, let's turn around and face the world. So when the Europeans came to Africa, we Africans, we have our own currency. And what is a currency? Currency means money that we spend. Now, let me mention 4 types of money we spend in Africa in the olden days. In the olden days, in Africa, we spent tobacco. They also spent Manila. Manila is to call like a covering. When we get to the heritage museum, you see the just like a ring like this, what I call a very covering. Our forefathers use Manila. Now, the third one is called Yala salt. There's a local government in Cross that called Iyala. In Iyala, they spend salt as money those days. The last one is called Kauri Shell. Yoruba call it Owoeyo. But when they arrive, them say they can do business with our forefathers with this. That they would have preferred doing a trade, not a trade by barter, exchange info. So imagine Europeans giving our forefather an umbrella, they collect 40 human beings as a slave. And we see how the South African umbrella works. I will show you. A bottle of whiskey go for 10 human beings as a slave. A plate, we call it sirabibo, go for 10 human beings as a slave. Now, what really baffled me and make me sad sometimes is that all the products that were used to produce sirabibo, we have it in Africa, in the northern part of Africa. European will take it and they refine it. They still bring it back to collect our properties. That's why we call it triangular slave trade. That's the name of the movement. Now, mirror and B, you can say 2, she can say 3, I can say 10. We call it bargain, or it depends how you bargain and negotiate with the European. I think the bottle of whiskey go for 10 human beings. Then the long cannon gun go for 100, the smaller and 40 slave. A day gun go for 40. Now, the question, we Africans or black men, what do we do with the guns and the cannon? We use it to fight as each other. So to get more slave to sell to the Europeans, we sold ourselves into slavery and still having up to date. Now, we are about going to see, after the 40 room, let's see the 2 room, the gunner. Come. You are welcome.
So it's 1 slave per room?
No, 40. I think it's 1 would have been better. We have 40 rooms, they kept 40. That's a minimum of 1,600 of them we have been let out of the compound. Now, all the 40 rooms used to be like this, a smaller room. In there is called dark room. We are still going there. So out of the 40 being kept there, after the 40, one of the slaves will be out at the inspection room. They will examine him because their aims and objectives, they were going to war where they did. So they want a very healthy slave. This is where they were examining to see if they are healthy. This umbrella that this slave boy was carrying ahead of me, this is surviving umbrella for 40 human beings. Now the question is, do you guys think this worth 40 human? That to tell you the kind of leaders Africa have the brain, right from the crowd of Africa. How could they exchange 40 human with this ordinary umbrella that was made of wood, bronze, silk, and iron? And the umbrella is so heavy, you can hear the sound. And as heavy as it is, just a guy, as you can see in that picture, have to carry pen on the head of the master. Mistakenly, if the umbrella dropped from his hand to the head of the master, it's abomination. They beheaded the slave instantly because they were property and they believe they can do and undo with their property. The same umbrella, we are showing the former vice president of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, 6 years ago, when the vice president paid a costly visit to the museum. This guy here is a stubborn slave. 3 of them were, these men were slaves. The one in the middle is a stubborn slave. Any slave that is stubborn, we call this chain waist chain. And if you look at the chain, you notice that it's wearing out. That shows that this chain is heavier than what we are seeing today. So any slave that is stubborn, they will tie it around the waist. They will lock it at the back. Because of the heaviness, just to calm the slave down, so that he will be less aggressive fighting other slaves or those who not purchasing. Now, this item number 7, they put this one inside the fire to write the name of the owner of the slave on the checks or at the back. We call it brandy. Slave kept in this compound were owned by different people. For identification, you have to brand your slave with that order. Then if you look at it, it has very sharp teeth. Now, there's some slaves called fugitives. Who are the fugitives? They are the runaway slave. Today you run, tomorrow you run. The master will say they will bring the slave. You know, our leg has a thumb. That big thumb, they put the iron very big here. They will drill it down, or they use a cutlass to chop off one of the toes of the runaway slave so that the slave will not be able to run, escape again. Now, right from before we go in, look at this chain here, and the one at your back over there were used to kill the slave. Later, when we enter the second room, I'll be telling you how they do the lynching of the slave with this chain. Now, this one standing here, there's what we call chariot or car. That involves normally pulled, owned by this man called Seriki Williams. Now, it's time to go to the dark room. Don't forget, this is where we inspect them. Any slave above 50 are called macrons. They don't want such a slave. Any 6 slaves are called macrons. The old one above 50 are called old slaves. They don't want those slaves because they want the young one that will be able to stand the test of time. Now, what I'm just trying to do, because we call it dark room, I'm trying to see if I can put on the torchlight of my phone so that we can clearly see in the room. So let's go in. So please, if you're taller, you have to bend your head. You're welcome.
Okay.
Now, that time, the floor is not being plastered. It's just a sand. Then the up is on the bamboo. They use a clay like a decking, as if we do decking 3 feet. Look at that small window. That's what we give them ventilation, and 40 of them will be here for 3 to 4 months. This way they will defecate, pee, poo, do a lot of things. Imagine the odor they hear, and imagine how many human because they would have died here. That's the main reason when people come here, I tell them, you guys are not here to catch fun, but just to feel the pain the people of the past have felt. Each of these Asian plates go for 10 slaves. This is a 50 human being. Yes, it doesn't matter the size. Once the European give you one of these Asian plates, you give them 10 human being as a slave. Now, if you look at the body of this bottle, this empty bottle, 1873 from Vienna, this is 10 slaves. The European will give her for a bottle of whiskey. They now collect 10 human beings from them as a slave. This ranting, we call it record, but today we use DVD and CD. We didn't know how many slaves that were used to collect this, really. And these are the gifts given to him by the president. They are doing the trade with him when he became the Seriki. European too, they are doing the trade with him, giving this as a gift. And some of the money I showed you outside that we use cowrie. Sure. Now, let's see this. Now, there's a company in London named Giet and Co. at 111 by 115 Baltimore Road in London. that produced the chains that were used on our forefather, the original chain. This is another company, Henry Pollin and Son at Birmingham and London, that produced the chains that are used on them. And the next museum that we're seeing now, you'll be seeing the original chain and how thick the chain is. A lot of people thought the slave chain is as lighter at what they put on dog. No, it's so thick and heavy. And imagine putting that kind of chain, we call it neck collar chain. And they move them in a single file to the point of no return. They are about to capture this man as a slave. Now, this picture tells a lot of stories. I used to tell people that why must this old man kill himself simply because they want to take him as a slave? That shows that slavery is demonic. The man said, I would rather die than being a slave. Now, most of the Igbo slaves taken along Calabar through Boniport, they took them to Georgia. There's an island in Georgia in North America called St. Simon in Badagry, where over 75 of the Igbo slaves said they can never be a slave. What they did, they killed their masters. 75 of them, one accord, they walk into the ocean, they drown, they said, they call the place Igbo land in today in Georgia. That shows that slavery is demonic. Now, if you are watching a movie titled Django Unchained, with any slave, any fugitive that try to escape, they will really like trying to apply the slave. And the dog will eat them to the bone. We call them killers dog. Slaves bear their master's name. Any slave that refuse to accept the white man religion or the master's name, they will be beaten to death. And if they die, okay. That's why today a lot of people will tell you, I don't want to be a Christian nor Muslim. Because a lot of people don't even know how those two religions enter Africa. You see, in the olden days, in the 7th century, Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, Libya that exists today were owned by the blacks. The first pharaoh of Egypt was a black man. But today, how come it was a white Arab? What happened to the aborigines, those black that lived there? In the 7th century, the jihadists, they invaded Egypt, they killed all the whites, all the blacks rather. They gave them Islam. Then, their old slave trade lasted for 17th century. We call it trans-Saharan slave trade. They enslaved us. And most of our men, the reason why we not see much black in the Arab colony today, they used to castrate our men. And if they do the castration, some of them used to die. They cannot reproduce again. That's why you don't see much black in the Arab colony for today, because they castrate most of our men. Now, 17th century they enslaved us. Then in the 14th to 15th century, the Portuguese came through the water. We call it transatlantic slave trade by a man called Prince Henry, navigator of Portugal. And they started taking Africa away as a slave. Later, the English also joined the trade. And the name of the first slave ship is being named Jesus of Lubeck, or Good Ship Jesus.
Jesus of
Lubeck. I think there's a state in London called Lubeck. Yeah. So they call it Jesus of Lubeck. Where over, and within that time, 25 to 30 million Africans were being taken away as a slave. And it was so sad that only few that made the journey, because majority of them found themselves at the bottom of the Atlantic, because sometimes of them died of sickness, sometimes the boat will capsize and everybody gone. Now, so any slave that refused will be beaten to death, and if they die, no case that time, because they are property of somebody. And when they came, they also came with the Bible, and they gave us the Bible. And they say, we Africans, our own way of life commitment is fetish, that we cannot reach God through our own religion. Now, let's go into this. Now, these are the ancient iron organization. I don't know, have you seen this before, sir? This is what they used for the roofing that time. What we use today, you get 25 or 30 of it from this edible zinc. And for someone to own this realization shell, they show how wealthy this man was in the slave trade. Now, this is another sad moment. We call all this thing gallows, G-A-L-L-O-W. If you guys remember, while we were in the first room, I showed you chain over the wall in the shogun that they used to lynch the slave with. Now, any slave that you are trying to be so smarter than your master, or you are causing trouble, you want to conscience type other slave, the penalty must be there. They'll tie that chain around the wrist of the men, the hand at the back, the women to one, or be suspended. They will not hang them. And they normally mount the gallows in the cabin or quarters where the slave lives, or the plantation where they work. So any slave that they hung. So the idea is that they want him or her to pass through pain, just to serve as an example, just like instilling fear into other slaves. And as you see them, they never last when the will die. The person that will die first is the man. Because the main reason why the man cannot sustain, because the chain will be so tight, eating the rib, and his blood will be drizzling till he's dead. The women, all the blood, because she was disobeyed, all the blood there will come to the tie will be she will be crying just to put fear. But the slaves never give up. We call this thing iron muzzle. MUZZLE. Why do they have to cover their mouth with iron muzzle? Because they believe if they don't cover the mouth of these black people, because they see our physique that these people are very strong, they don't want them to team up and communicate and fight against them. Or probably they believe that if they were well fed, they'll have power to fight. Or if they communicate, they don't understand their languages, they can plan. So they have to cover their mouth with this iron muzzle. And this is another worse one. They used to cover. But the one that is worse is one of the next one you're going at. There's this one called knife. They put that knife, it's a very iron, they put it inside the fire, and they bring it out. When the iron is hot and bright, it's very easy to penetrate the body. They not put it here, another hose there, they put padlock on their mouth. Now, let's see. The well was dug in 1847 by the slave. This is where they drank water from. And they look the water, it's not clean enough. How could a human being take this water? Because they were slaves, this is where the water they use as they were drinking water. And originally, look at that red bricks. The compound, these are the compounds to be, it's not being plastered. You see these red bricks.
Once we got done with that first compound, they brought us to the second museum, which talks about slaves working in the sugarcane plantation. Like you can see, the picture already tells the story. You can see sugarcanes and a slave. Thank you.
Original chain used on our forefathers during the period of slave trade. And this chains was brought here by white men to here around 15 centuries ago. So when slaves were brought to the white men, they have these chains around them. This was called a necklace. And to be around someone's leg like this for 18 hours. There is music as well. Do you want to? Heavy.
How big one?
So after fixing these around the neck, this was fixed on two people's leg. Sorry like this. They lock it to padlock, and two of them continue working, going at the same time at once. This is a stubborn slave who refused to work on the farm. They have to force his hands by force, or to his wrist. They remove this screw. Pull it up. Why all his body will be punishment for the stubborn slave? These little children, to guide them not to disturb their parents, they have to join 2 or 3 kids hands together like this. They not talk about it while their parents busy working on the farm. These little slave mouth, to guide them not to eat or to talk to the one another while working in sugarcane plantation. This was used for 3 purposes. The first purpose is to put this object into a fire when it is very, very hot. They used to make an hole. Both up and down. They now fix this. They draw the lips out very well. They have to lock it with padlock like this or like that. It will guide them not to eat or to talk to the one another while working in sugarcane plantation. The second purpose of using this, slave has name, but those white people, they couldn't allow slave to bear their name, they bear their master's name. How do they do that? They have to put his object into a fire when it is very, very hot. Then you need to write down the masters at their body and their master's nationality. So whenever you are taking them to, they can be able to identify them. So you know how these guys now adopt it as fashion, that is tattoo. The purpose of using this, any slave trying to run away, any captured, You have to put his leg on top of a tree in front like this, and then nail it down. So if you watch a movie called Root, that is King Kakunte movie, or 12 Years of Slavery, you will know what I'm talking about. This is called canon gun. The gun stand as time shot 3 times in a day. The first shot of this cannon, hearing in the morning, hearing Badagry, signified that they were taking the slave down to the farm to work, which is across of this water. Second one in the afternoon, they are going to ride from the farm down to where you're coming from. So the third shot of this cannon signified a curfew, means everybody in this Badagry must remain indoor. Anybody caught after the third shooting will be captured and sold into slavery. Because during the olden days, all this environment used as a slave corridor. Slaves used to spend like 3 months within this environment before the white people shipped them away to the new world, to the places like Cuba, Jamaica, West Indies, Brazil, America, different places like that. So this is the money spent in those days, cowries. Cowries were not recognized within ourselves in Africa. White people they couldn't recognize this. In order for them to buy slave, they practiced trade by but as one like them, a bottle of whiskey like this in excess of 10 slaves. So this is where the slaves have their drinking water, called the slave drinking water bowl. When the slave arrived from the farm, the fear with water, they tie their hands about, open their mouth block, and as they bend down here, they drink like animals. In the process of drinking, when you push themselves, their head will hit this. Blood will flow. They are still drinking. So here we have the status talks about stubborn castrated slave begging for forgiveness. The one who's very, very horrible. During the days of slave trade, we used to have a slave at home, like a domestic slave. So in order for such people to have sexual intercourse with their own wife, they remove his man. So also here this talks about resistance and public punishment, how the slave have been maltreated during the days of slavery. And also this talks about marching to the coast means marching to the point of no return. Here was called point of no return during the days of slavery. But now a lot of tourists will go there now and they return back home successfully. If you look at the slave market, here in Badagry, established in the year 1502, where 300 slaves have been sold every market day. And the middle passage, this is how our brothers and sisters in diaspora were being packaging down to the unknown destination. When the captain of this ship discovered that the boat with the ship is too much loaded, they have to excuse some for the lighter of the ship. Finally, this talks about separation of a family, means this man is sold to this old boat, this woman is sold to this old boat. So that family will never come across themselves. That's all we have for you. You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So they were the one, they were the Anglican colony, they were the one that arrived. So they were the one that now built the building before they started building churches. So today it's a museum, but the church also comes to do programs here once in a while. Also. But just a museum,
It was built with the bricks.
they were brick. Everything that were used were imported from London when they were building it.
Because Badagry served as a major slave corridor during the years of the slave trade, so you can find so many museums here that talk about slave trade. So if you want to visit all the museums, you're free to visit. Once we got done with all the museums, we had to go see the point of no return. I was very particular about making it to that point because why not? I'm already here, so why would I see the beginning and not see the end, right? So we had to get on a boat that was going to cross us over to go to the point of no return. So they brought the life jackets for us. I was very impressed by this, to be honest, because only me know wetin I don't see for Cameroon tourism sites. Like if you have to enter a boat to cross to go to the point of no return in Cameroon, you're gonna go by yourself with no life jacket. If you do not take your personal life jacket, I'm sorry, my brother, my sister, you're just gonna go like that or you don't go. So I was like, this is quite impressive that they do have life jackets just in place for tourists who want to go see the point of no return. Rain started falling from the moment we got to Badagry, so that's why you can see the water having this brownish color, and it looked like the water was troubled because my companion for the day kept on saying, Carol, are you sure we should actually go and see this point of no return? Is the water not looking like it is so troubled? I'm like, this water is safe. It is safe for me in Jesus' name. We shall go and come back safely. I have lived almost all my life in a coastal town in Cameroon called Limbe. So me and seawater were like 5 and 6. There is no body of water that I can see that it will frighten me. I'm always so comfortable and confident with getting into boats. I know some people are so scared of water bodies, like my companion for the day. He had to gather his heart and courage just to come to this point. So if you do not want to come to this point, it's not obligatory. Actually, it even costs you more money to come to this point because they charge you for the fuel that the boat uses to cross you over, and the boat waits for you guys to get done with the point of no return. So they just anchor the boat here. We remove our life jackets, we give him, and then we get to the place. When we come back, he will still be there waiting for us, right? So this is the entrance of this area where the journey to no return begins for the slaves. You will walk quite a distance from here to the point of no return.
Slaves, they first with paddle boats, assemble them, and they walk down to the beach and simplify. So the minimum of slaves are working 1,000 slaves. 1,000 slaves that can be sell 1,000 slaves. So the ship, if it will carry more than that, they get more slaves. They will go there. So they work on the same part, on the same part. They change on their hands, their necks, and their hands. They'll be on a single pipe, trekking down to the beach. The journey is about.
Wait, what water were they drinking to lose their memory?
The spirit attenuation well was dug by the African chiefs. So maybe when we go there, we see.
So was it spiritual?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
more of the African chiefs were of the they were benefiting from the
Yeah, the trade.
so they dug the well, they carried the story African.
So everybody must drink out. All of them must drink water.
The well water, which had black magic to it, just sounded so mystical to me, like I was watching some sort of Merlin movie. So I was really looking forward to seeing this well. Now this part is so sandy, your feet will keep sinking into the sand, so it makes it extra tedious for you to walk through this part. And the sand was so hot, family members. I'm not sure I could feel even an inch of what the slaves felt with the weight of the irons they had on their necks. Finally, we got to the well.
Okay, so this is where they drink water from. Then the water was not this dirty, it was clean, and people drank from it then. But
They had something they used to carry the water.
fetch it. Yeah, they were fetchers, and they used to fetch it out for them.
Okay.
And then when they drink it, they lose them. The number of the slaves were more than the masters. As we say, the minimum is 1,600. Why the slaves could exist, it could be more than that. The ship could carry up to 3,000 or 4,000, depending on its capacity. Why the masters were taking were just like 100 to 200. So imagine the masters of just 100 against 1,000 or 2,000 slaves. Obviously, they could attack them, kill them, drown the boat. Some of the slaves believe that it's better to die than to go and work for them. So they always are aggressive on the water. So that's why they met with the African chiefs, and because the chiefs were greedy, were into the trade, they were profiting from it, they decided to help them. And they dug the well, added black magic according to stories. And once they drink it, they'll lose their memory temporarily. It's not after they drink it, they were also
It was temporarily. How long was like the temporal period? Okay. Then after you come back, the duration of their travel,
but then it will be too late because
you have already gone that way. Yeah.
so people around still believe it might still be effective, and that's why the water is dirty and looks like this. We have a lot of wells in this island. They don't use them. They believe it's still effective. That's why this one is like this. You can see it's very dirty. Even the people that farm, they don't use it. They believe it's nice. Master decide what to do. Where to sit, is sit. So up there, one.
Little advice here. You heard that woman saying fresh coconut is sweet well. Please buy it, you will need it. If not for the sweetness of the water, you will need it for the sweetness of your pictures. Nobody told me, but because I have paid the price already, I am telling you all. Please buy it before you get here, because it's such a distance to get here and realize you need that coconut to make you have the perfect pictures, and you cannot walk back there just to go and buy coconut and come back. So let me just tell you all, please buy the coconut. So getting here, I saw this structure and I was told that the Lagos state wanted to start building something here. I don't know, maybe it was some sort of like a relaxation that tourists could come and sit and chill, but they had plans of making it a really beautiful site for tourists, a touristic attraction. But somehow the project got abandoned. I don't know why, maybe lack of funds or something, I don't know why. And it has started depreciating. You could see the ions are rusting off due to the sea water. We all know sea water has a very high salt content in it. So if you're building anything by the sea, you have to use high grade materials and you have to have a budget just for renovations. Now, can we talk about the color of this beach? Oh my god. See, this beach I never experienced. As in, I really did not expect to see how clean and beautiful.
Not all of them can make it to Europe. Some of them ended up dying in the ocean. When they get to their destination, the master of
Oh, it's because of the chains, that's why they sink. Okay, it's heavy.
very
Yes,
heavy.
yeah.
So they have handed them already. They
Yeah.
just come look for their names, take them to their houses, meet them for works. Most of them ended up as plantation slave because they wanted them to work. Finished product, we still will return back to Africa to get more slaves. So it was more of a transaction
Yeah.
selling us down. And then for the people that, when the trade was abolished, people try to return, and when you get to the river side, it's to the family, or basically like that. They use the foreign units to get because their names have already been taken out. The ones that couldn't return are the blacks over there, black Americans and blacks Europeans to the date. Some of them do come, they trace their roots, it shows them where they are from, but they don't know exactly
Where?
tribe and party.
Yeah.
So very bad thing for them.
I'm so glad I made it to this point of no return, because after hearing all the traumatic, sad stories, the fresh air from this beach was just what I needed to give me a smile on my face. The beach was so clean. See, fam. I don't know if it's because in Limbe we have like the black sand beach. So seeing this one here, I was just like, this is so beautiful to see. And I definitely had to write my name on the sand to show that I came, I saw, and I conquered. Elomo TV came and visited this place. If you take pictures here with this sea as a background, people will definitely think that you are in a Western world. It adds so much beauty to your pictures. It just elevates your pictures from 0 to 100. And the palm trees, oh my god, these palm trees just elevates this beach like to 1000. It just adds that extra beauty to your pictures. I took really cute pictures here, and the only regret I had was the fact that I did not buy that coconut when that woman was selling it. If you want to up your pictures in this place, buy that coconut. I feel like this was a fresh bread I needed after all the traumatic stories.
Give us one coconut. How much is it? Sweet one.
On our way back, I just had to buy this coconut to satisfy my conscience that I experienced everything that this place had to offer. Yes, I could not buy the coconut on my way going, but I had a second chance. This is what they say, God gives you second chances. So I had to taste the sweet coconut water, as the woman said. My companion jokingly said, I'm not scared of drinking coconut water just by the well of losing memory. And I'm just like, whoa, even if I lose memory for 3 to 4 months, will it not be good to help me solve my problems? Anyway, so I was so fulfilled that I got to drink this water. water. My friend was like, he's not gonna drink the water, he's going to drink palm wine instead. It was time for us to go back, and it was at this point that I actually noticed that this bridge, by the sides, the blocks are falling off. And I asked our tour guide for this area, Dami, the guy who spoke in the video, like, I these people not renovating it, are they not even scared that people can fall by the side? And he was like, this bridge has been existing for the longest time now. The people in the community seem so friendly and welcoming. So my friend wanted to eat roasted fish and drink palm wine. But we got to learn that if you want to enjoy the beauty fully of Badagry, you should come at night, because they do have a nightlife where they roast fish by the water and just have a good time.
Street is called Marina Road. This is Marina Road. But if you want to, like Badagry, if you like a day, if you come to Badagry, you will not enjoy it. You're supposed to, you guys, you're supposed to pass the night. So there's a little nightlife here where we say we have a floating restaurant, you just sit down. You know, that's the beauty of the tour.
I'm not drinking just one
You
bottle.
want to come, you understand?
My companion actually concurred to what the tour guide was saying, because he said he had friends in his office that during the weekends they come to Badagry to chop life. And I'm like, is that how hot this area is? And you did not tell me. So if you really want to enjoy the fun part of Badagry, enough of the sadness, you should consider spending a night here. They told me they do have quite affordable hotel rooms. After they filled the bottles for my friend to take away, they put some in the bowl and gave me to drink the first person. And my friend was like, person wey talk say she no go drink palm wine because she don't drink coconut water, now she dey drink palm wine first person. I'm like, that's how funny life is. We had an amazing bittersweet experience at Badagry. I'm looking forward to the night experience in this community. That's what is lacking for me to enjoy the full beauty of this community. And that was about it for this trip. We left Badagry. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.